episode 20. I can't believe it's already been more than a year of content that has been made here on my channel. A lot has been built here, as you can see with the dock area. I've grown a lot as a builder, but also as a YouTuber. I feel like I've found my voice here. I've gotten comfortable. But I also found my audience as well, which honestly kind of feels surreal looking back. But for the new viewers out there, let me catch you up to speed. Let's kick things off with a stroll down memory lane. We'll start with the build that revived the whole series, located deep inside of this forest. This house was a way for me to test out my building skills, trying to understand better the world that I'm trying to create. Once I had a better idea of what I'm capable of, I started expanding the dock, populating the area with a train station that is fully functional, a bathhouse to accommodate my guests, and the most important area in the town, the harbor where I store all of my belongings. To tie up the whole place together, we built a temple looking over the whole city that bridges the forest and the town in a seamless way. A project that tested all of the skills that I've learned so far into one big area, which leads us to the next arc in our journey, to expand this world outwards. We'll be starting off a long-term project, which is this train track. So this train track is going to be connecting us to new areas, starting off with that island over there. And then after that, we'll be expanding the train tracks even further, allowing us to start new towns, new civilization, and perhaps even explore different styles of build. I really love these cranes over here. It really adds a lot of detail to the area, but sadly it's not going to be standing here for much longer, because once these train tracks are built, there's really no reason to keep these cranes, especially this angled one right here. It really brings the whole area to life. Any buildings or elements in Minecraft that goes diagonally, it just kind of helps sell the whole environment. So that's actually a really big tip for builders. Anyways, when I was designing this, I wanted to keep in mind that I'd have to build this for thousands of blocks. And that would not be easy if these building materials are expensive, which is why the main material of this bridge right here are mainly made out of stones. But I kind of splurged a little bit with these tough walls, these chains and coppers even. And if we head up here, we can see that I use a lot of anvils. And that's going to be super expensive for me. So I'd need a really good iron farm. But I just really like how it looks, so I don't want to compromise the look just because it's hard to get as much as possible. So I'll be building the bridge all the way up to that rock over there and clear out these trees, move these cranes, and show you guys a better idea of what I'm envisioning right now. Oh boy, this bridge is expensive. And we're not even halfway through the length that I want to reach today, which is right around that village over there. So I do want to take a break from this project real quick because I do have a lot more resources to grind out after this. I've been meaning to try out crossbows. I actually used a crossbow for the first time, and it's actually pretty good, especially when you enchant it. So let's make one right now. I just realized that I don't know the recipe for it, so I gotta look it up real quick. So I need an iron. Let's see if I have some iron here. And then strings. Where are my strings? The crossbow honestly has the coolest crafting configuration. This is really cool. I've never seen it like this. And there we go, our first crossbow. Okay, now we can just dump the rest of the stuff that I don't need and grab some arrows. Where are my arrows? Do I even have arrows? Okay, I actually don't have any arrows, so we should make one right now. Okay, there we go. We can only make 8. How sad is that? And we can drop the piles again. Now, I've prepared a few resources for us to test out this new weapon right here. So we could just make a few dummies here. Okay, that's a pretty good shooting range, honestly. I think adding an archery at our city would be pretty cool later down the line. I'm actually curious how slow this is, because when I tried it, it was fully enchanted and it was like a gun. Okay. So it is pretty slow on a draw.
You gotta use your shoulders.
Deck? What are you doing here?
I see a nice opportunity to help you out here with your town. Do you need any help here?
Yes. Let's get you settled in first. Follow me.
Okay.
Take this room right here. It has a nice view of the city.
Oh, this is a lovely room. Yeah, look at this view. This is amazing. Let me plot down my stuff here.
You can unpack your things, decorate it however you want, and then we'll start working at the crack of dawn. So right here at the entrance, we actually have a freight train here. I've been thinking about putting a mob farm inside here. I know the space is a bit cramped, but I feel like if we could somehow fit the skeleton spawner, we have one right here. I think it's right here. If we dig down, if we could somehow fit it inside of that freight train, that could be really cool. What do you think? Is that possible?
I think we can make that work, yeah.
Yeah, it's only like a few blocks away from here. So that I don't think it'll be much of a problem. But also I think it'll be really cool if we use this building right here. Somehow connect the killing chamber drops to this area right here. So right here is an empty building. I think it'll be cool to put a factory in here, but also an office for a business.
We can definitely make that work. And you want like all the drops from the skeleton spawner to be stored here.
Yes, I think that'll be great. I think we can separate the bones, the arrows, but also the bone blocks. If we could make bone blocks auto-crafted, I think it'll be really good for me because I do use a lot of bones in my builds.
Yeah. Can also use powder snow to convert them into strays and get tipped arrows if you want.
Oh, wait, you could do that? You could make them into phrase?
Yeah.
But they also do drop normal arrows, right?
Yeah, they drop both.
Oh, okay. So we could have one area specifically for arrows and then one more for the tipped arrows. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I think that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, man, that sounds pretty simple. So walk on the redstone and I'll get back to you later once I'm done and we can build it together.
Sounds good. I'll be working on the train tracks while you're at it. And I should be done before you get this figured out.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right.
Thanks, Dak. My materials have dried up, so I'll be making a quick trip to the mines again to gather some stones. After gathering some materials, I made a quick stop to the shrine. It's a tradition to pray for good fortune for big constructions, which is why I'm here. And to also get some fortune on my hoe. And then we're back to continuing the bridge. Okay, this is as far as we're making it today. This took way longer than I expected. I thought this project would take me like a week, but it's been 2 weeks since I initially planned out this whole area, and we've gotten to a length that I'm pretty happy with. Because this is where the first train stop is going to be at. And this area right here is going to be the next arc of our episodes. So I've been planning what to build next year. And I've cooked up some crazy builds. So if you guys are excited for that, subscribe and follow along for the journey. So I do want to talk about the details real quick, because I know you guys care about those stuff. The bridge itself is pretty simple. Mostly I use tuff to create the separation on the bridge, but also on the arches right here to make it a bit darker and kind of highlighting that area as well. I think if we take a look at it from this island right here, we'll get a better view of how grand this whole thing is. As cool as it is, it's gonna be super expensive for me to build out and expand throughout my whole forever world. But we'll make sure to build the appropriate farms so we could expand these train tracks everywhere and connect our cities more immersively. But the main block palette itself, we use stones, acacia log, andesite, stone bricks, and some gray walls. And I tried to give it that streaky look because stone structures, they tend to wear out and they kind of fade in a very interesting way where there's usually lots of streaks going down. So that's what I'm trying to emulate here. Now we can go over the more interesting details here. The first one right here is the copper railing. It's gonna be super expensive to get as well, but I really like the accent that it gives, right? Like the bridge itself is like really monotone in terms of color, and I do want to have that little highlight, and I feel like adding these slight orange look really makes the bridge pop better. And the other detail might be a bit hard for you to spot, especially at a distance, but we do have these wires going throughout all of the bridge. I just wanted to add a bit more detail and world building because I do have a lot of electric poles around the city. And I think it's a really simple way of adding tiny elements into your world to make it feel alive. You can see the electric pole connects to this bridge and it also connects inside here. And I just want to have electricity going throughout the whole bridge. That way, you know, if we do make some village down the road, they have access to electricity as well. I really enjoy having those tiny details. It just heightens the immersion for me. It really makes me feel like the world is actually lived in. And there's lore and story behind everything I built. I don't want my build to feel hollow and empty. I want it to feel like that everything I built feeds into a system. And this is one example of that. But here's the second example of adding immersion to my world, is having another wiring going throughout the whole bridge. This wiring also powers this lamp right here. I do want to add a bit of lighting throughout the whole bridge, so that way at night there's a hint of color. Because if I didn't add these tiny details, you know, this bridge right here, it won't feel this grand, you know what I mean? But since I added these tiny details, it becomes a centerpiece of this whole area. And last thing that I want to highlight before we move on is that I added this curve on this bridge right here, as you can see. Initially, I just wanted it to be straight, but I have had plans for this area right here. And I thought curving the bridge would make more sense. So that way I could actually put something here. And I'm happy that I actually did that because, again, like I mentioned before with having the cranes in the city before, any elements in Minecraft that has a diagonal aspect to it, it just makes it even better. And before we move on to the next segment, I do want to say that I do have a Patreon. All of my builds that you see here, they're all available in my Patreon. And since this is the 20th episode, I'll be uploading the newest world download after this episode comes out. So if you guys wanted to check out my world or just replicate what I built, study what I do, or use my builds in your own survival world, subscribing to my Patreon is the best way of supporting me. You'll enable me to do what I do here, and you'd play a huge part in supporting my dream to become a full-time YouTuber. So with that being said, let's continue on with the next build. What the heck?
Come here, I gotta show you something.
Was the arrow really necessary? Man, this guy.
I got the blueprint right here.
So you want me to clear out a huge space underneath the dock?
Yes. That way we can put the necessary wiring and the redstone underneath to create a funnel into the factory.
Oh, I love the design that you did on the factory.
Oh, yeah. We divide the space between an office and the manufacturing area.
Okay. So, what are you gonna name this place?
Boneworks has a nice ring to it.
Hey Keep right up, ladies and gentlemen. Here at Boneworks Co., pride ourselves on model skeletal efficiency. Fresh skeletons are carefully lifted from the depths, refined into premium-grade strays, then promptly loaded onto our state-of-the-art cargo rail system for processing. From there, every harvested bone is imported directly into the Boneworks factory floor, where our patented automation converts raw bone into fine bone meal. So don't delay. Come on down to Boneworks Co.
As you can see from the infomercial, we have a working skeleton farm. Super exciting actually, seeing all the new functions that the dog has now. First we have our storage system, and now we have the skeleton farm. I've actually been testing it for a bit. It's actually pretty effective. So like you've seen in the infomercial video, basically all of the skeletons spawn and then I just have to whack them. So you do gotta block out your inventory before you use this. If not, all of the stuff are gonna be collected, which is not an issue technically. So let's head into the automation system right here. If we head inside of this building right here, this is the office as you can see in the video. And right here we have a button. So if this is turned off, if the light's turned off, that means the farm is working. But if the light is on, that means the farm is inactive. There's like lights inside of the skeleton farm to prevent it from spawning in. But we packed so much detail into this small space right here. We have this tiny office space. We have a music player. We have a place to hang your hat. And then there's a small chandelier. It was pretty awkward to fit a chandelier in this size, but it's pretty good, I think. And right here is the factory itself. Now we put a skulk sensor up here to make it seem like there's a machine working here. So the idea is that the bones gets feed out into this belt system right here. And then these bones would be converted into bone meal by crushing them. So it can be a bit noisy and obnoxious when you're walking around in here, but I think seeing everything moving, it's really immersive. I really like the vibe in here. So the interior is meant to be a bit messy because it is a factory. So we do have a lot of like steel beams at the top, some vents, and then we have some chains hanging. There's a lot of wiring, like any factory. If I remember correctly, this one right here is for arrows. So all the normal arrows will be put into shulkers and then placed into this barrel. And then there's one more right here. This one is for the tip arrows. And right here, actually, there's a crafter. And the shulkers would be deployed in here. And these would be the bone meals. So all of the stuff will be separated and put into different spaces. That way I could just collect them easily. I don't know if I would need that much arrows, but it'll be nice to have. So basically this whole project was an over-engineered skeleton farm, which is kind of funny to say because it's not efficient, but we kind of divided it pretty nicely. And as we're reaching the end of the video, it is time for the dialogue segment of our video, where I read some of the comments from the last video. So Sounds Not Straight asked to come back and thumbs it up. I loved it. Like watching a film. Thank you so much for that. I put a lot of effort into making these videos. And as time goes and the more I make these videos, the more I realize that I always ended up making each video harder for me. Like each video takes more time for me to edit and plan out, which is actually insane and not sustainable for me. I feel like I always go bigger and bigger to the point where my ambition kind of hinders the fact that I do want to make these videos for you guys in a timely manner, and I don't think that's a good sign. Although I'm really happy with the products that I've done, especially this video right here. I think this video is a testament to how my ambition is also kind of my downfall in some ways. And I need to streamline these videos better so I don't get overwhelmed and just get stuck on one project for 3 weeks straight. And I barely have any time to do anything else. Like YouTube has my full attention and it's very unhealthy for me to keep doing this without actually having a life outside of it. Sorry to hit you with a very serious answer, but I know it's supposed to be a compliment, but it's been sitting heavily in my chest. Especially as we hit a 20 episode mark, which is incredible and crazy to say that it's been 20 episodes in. But yeah, I think if I do want to make hundreds of these, it would be much more sustainable if I pace myself better. And the second question is from Kira3182. Have you ever considered starting a new world for the viewers or just to see what you will build in a fresh world? I think this is a good segue to my next project actually. And to answer your first question is that I don't think starting a new world would benefit anyone. I think the weakest point of a playthrough series is actually the beginning, where you have to gather everything because it's been done so many times before, right? And the strength of a forever world is your creativity, is your ability to create all of these things and make the world your own. I think what makes a playthrough special is how we tackle these problems and ideas differently. But I do get the sentiment of wanting something new, so, you know, you wouldn't feel like you're missing out on 20 episodes, right? Which is why the next episode is kind of like a reboot in a way. We're playing in the same world, the same stuff. It's just different projects, different goals, and a different city, which I'm hoping would encourage new viewers to jump into the series without actually making it feel like it's a scary, like a 20 episode saga, right? Kind of like One Piece. I've been trying to get into One Piece for a while now, but it's like 1,000 episodes in and I can barely get through 30 episodes. That's wild. So I do get the sentiment. So this next video is meant to tackle that issue that most playthrough and series has. So hopefully you'll enjoy the next one. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys following me along on this journey. It has been a crazy year of content and I'm excited to do more. I hope you stick around for more. If you like what I do and you want to support what I do, you can support me on Patreon and you could get all of the builds and the world download that I have right here. And with that being said, thank you for watching, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.